Breaking news! Things are heating up behind the scenes at the Buffalo Bills. But before we continue, have you hit that like button yet? If you believe the Bills have what it takes to make it to the next Super Bowl, show your support now. I honestly have no doubt this team can go far. And if you believe it too, comment below. Go Bills! I believe it. Before we get to the point, I want to leave you with this little quote. Success in the NFL, just like with the Buffalo Bills, is built on resilience, passion, and the relentless pursuit of greatness. No matter the obstacles, keep moving forward. Bills Mafia, the best is yet to come. The 2025 NFL Draft is just around the corner, and Bills Mafia, we've got something special to dive into today. A brand new 7-round mock draft from ESPN's Matt Miller just dropped, and let me tell you, some of these picks could shape the future of the Buffalo Bills in a big way. Miller took all 10 of the Bills' selections and put together a draft class that, depending on how you see it, could be either a franchise-altering haul or leave fans scratching their heads. So, let's break it down. And trust me, you're going to want to stick around for this, because there's one pick in here that might just be the steal of the entire draft. Starting in the first round at pick number 30, Buffalo finally does something different. No Kenneth Grant, no defensive tackle from Michigan. Instead, the Bills select Ole Miss cornerback Trey Amos. This pick makes a lot of sense when you consider the state of Buffalo's secondary. Amos has size, 6 feet 1 inch, 195 pounds, speed, 4.43 seconds in the 40-yard dash, and the skills to be an elite press cover corner. The knock on him, he bounced around in college playing for 3 different programs, but that didn't stop him from developing into a true playmaker, finishing last season with 3 interceptions and a QB rating allowed of just 54.5. Given that the Bills haven't locked up Christian Benford yet, and that Kaiir Elam hasn't lived up to expectations, adding Amos could be Buffalo's way of hitting the reset button at outside corner. But what do you think? Should the Bills have gone in a different direction? Or is Amos the right guy for the job? Now here's where things get really interesting. In the second round, with pick number 52, the Bills select Texas safety Andrew Mukuba, a move that could signal a shift in Buffalo's defensive priorities. Mukuba is a do-it-all safety with elite instincts, coverage skills, and closing speed, 4.45 40-yard dash. He finished last season with 5 interceptions and a mind-blowing QB rating allowed of just 12. That's right, 12. The dude practically erased passing lanes in college. Now, some might wonder if he's here to compete with Damar Hamlin for a starting spot. But let's be real. If Mukuba plays up to his potential, Hamlin might not see the field much. This is the type of player who could be a long-term answer in Buffalo's secondary, a unit that, let's be honest, needs all the help it can get. Still in the second round at pick number 62, Buffalo may have just landed the steal of the draft. Iowa State wide receiver Jaden Higgins. You might not know his name yet, but you will. At 6 feet 3 inches, 215 pounds, Higgins is a true X-receiver with elite route running skills and reliable hands. He had just 2 drops on 130 targets last season. There's already buzz that he could sneak into the first round, but if Buffalo can grab him in the second, it would be an absolute home run. This pick also raises a big question. What does this mean for Keon Coleman? The Bills took Coleman last year expecting him to be a key piece of their offense, but adding Higgins suggests they might not be sold on him as the go-to guy. Is this a smart insurance policy, or does it signal trouble for Coleman's future in Buffalo? From there, the Bills continue building in the trenches, selecting South Carolina edge rusher Kyle Kennard in the 4th round. Kennard isn't the biggest edge rusher in this class, but he makes up for it with elite speed, 4.7 40-yard dash, and explosiveness off the line of scrimmage. Last season, he posted 11.5 sacks, 39 pressures, and forced 3 fumbles. The trend with this draft class? Buffalo is targeting players who transferred late in their college careers and made massive leaps in production. Kennard fits that mold perfectly and could provide key depth behind Joey Bosa, whose injury history is well documented. Also in the 4th round, Buffalo goes back to the offensive side, selecting Kansas running back Devin Neal. If you haven't watched Neal play, let me put it this way. He's a nightmare to bring down. The dude just bounces off defenders and keeps moving. A career 6.0 yards per carry guy, Neal was one of the driving forces behind Kansas's football resurgence. While Buffalo has James Cook in place place as the lead back, Neal brings a different running style, more power, more physicality, that could make him an excellent complement.
Now, things get wild in the later rounds. The Bills hold a cluster of picks in the 5th and 6th rounds, starting with Texas defensive tackle Vernon Broughton at pick 169. This guy is an absolute force in the trenches, racking up 32 pressures last season. Given Buffalo's situation at defensive tackle, suspensions to key players like Larry Ogunjobi and Michael Hookst, Broughton could be a sneaky valuable addition. Just a few picks later, the Bills take Oregon linebacker Jeffrey Bassa, another versatile defender who can hold his own in coverage and provide solid tackling depth. Then, Buffalo doubles down on secondary help in the 6th round with LSU cornerback Z.Y. Alexander and Virginia safety Jonas Sanker. Alexander was rock solid in coverage last year, allowing a QB rating of just 53.2, while Sanker provides much-needed depth at a position where Buffalo is thin. Finally, with their last pick, the Bills select Pittsburgh tight end Gavin Bartholomew. This is a bit of a mystery pick. Bartholomew isn't a name that's been buzzing in draft discussions, but it's clear Buffalo wants more competition at the tight end position. If Dalton Kincaid doesn't take the next step, could Bartholomew surprise people in camp? So there you have it. Bills Mafia, 10 picks, a whole lot of potential, and some real questions to answer. What do you think? Did Matt Miller nail it, or are there moves you would have made differently? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any Bills coverage. We've got a lot more to talk about as we inch closer to the draft. Let's keep the conversation going. Go Bills! Analysis of the Buffalo Bills 2025 mock draft. The Buffalo Bills have a crucial draft ahead, and ESPN's Matt Miller has put together an interesting mock draft that showcases how the team could reinforce its roster. With 10 selections throughout the draft, this approach balances raw talent, immediate contributors, and some high upside prospects. Let's break down each pick and analyze the potential impact these players could have on Buffalo's roster. Round 1, CB Trey Amos, Ole Miss. Selecting Trey Amos at number 30 addresses a major need for Buffalo, strengthening the secondary. With uncertainty surrounding Christian Benford's extension and Kyer Elam's inconsistency, the Bills need a true CB1 for the future. Amos has the size, 6 feet 1 inch, 195 pounds, speed, 4.43s in the 40-yard dash, and experience in the SEC, one of college football's most competitive environments. The main concern is his lack of stability in college, as he transferred between 3 programs before excelling at Ole Mississippi. However, his 16 pass breakups and a QB rating allowed of just 54.5 demonstrate that he could be a valuable addition to Buffalo's defense, which needs an injection of young talent. Round 2, Andrew Mukuba, Texas. Buffalo has had a strong history at the safety position, but with Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde no longer in the mix, reinforcement is essential. Mukuba is a versatile, aggressive defensive back with great instincts. His 4.45s 40-yard dash time shows he has the speed to cover deep zones, and his 5 interceptions in 2024 prove he can be a playmaker. The concern here is his size, 5 feet 11 inches, 186 pounds, which could limit his effectiveness against the run near the line of scrimmage. However, given the Bills' need for secondary help, this pick makes a lot of sense and could help solidify their pass defense. Round 2, WR Jaden Higgins, Iowa State. This pick could end up being one of the biggest steals of the draft for Buffalo.